So, everyone, what I'd like to do here is I'm going to start with the spellcasters because they take a little bit longer. What you can do to start off, though, is everyone on your character sheet in the top right, there's the like hammer and anvil icon that'll take you to the character builder. That's where I want you to go first.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on my stream, your screen should look similar to my screen. I want you in the class tab. And then in the class tab, do the drop down and level yourself up to 7.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start with Crocus, Moonsey. One thing to note is at level 6, you got an ability called Mighty Summoner. So, beasts and fae that you create or like summon, like creatures that you summon, get these bonuses now. So, they appear with more hit points than normal. So, 2 extra hit points per hit die that the creature has. So, if the creature has 6 hit die, which you'll see on the creature, it'll tell you, then it would come with what did I say? Did I say 6 hit die? So you'd get 12 hit points or something like that. So it just gets however many hit die times 2 extra hit points, which is good. They're just beefier now. And also, any damage from its natural weapons are considered magical damage now. So basically, your summons deal damage that can't be prevented by most things, which is good.
Ooh.
So they deal like special true damage almost. All right. Then for spells, we're going to check out here in your druid thing up at the top. You remember where the spell list is?
I think so.
It should be kind of like underneath and to the left of where it says level 7. There's a drop down that says spells. And then it'll have your prepared spells, like what you already have. And then at the very bottom, there's a thing that says known spells with a green exclamation mark. See that? Or green plus mark. You see that?
Uh-huh.
So you click on that. And now, since we leveled 3 up, like we're 3 levels up now, you get 1 more cantrip and you get 4 more spells. There are a lot to pick from.
Ooh.
Like a lot. So why don't you just tell me, what are you interested in doing as Crocus? Do you want to do more supportive stuff, or do you want to do more like damage dealing, crowd control, summoning? What are you interested in?
Sure.
Which one?
I said I'm not really sure.
Okay. So I'll kind of let you think about it. Like, think about what you think Crocus would focus on with her spells. Would she focus on summoning creatures to help in battle? Would she focus on like supporting her allies by buffing them and making them better? Do you think she'd focus on like creating vines and things to wrap people up? There are like flame spells or water spells. There's a lot to pick from, a lot to think about. But if you give me like an area of what you're interested in or what you kind of want to do, then I can give you some good options. Because there's a lot of these spells that just like aren't even worth it. So I don't want you to get too overwhelmed. I'll just kind of give you some good options whenever you think of what you want Crocus to be doing.
Ooh, I think I might have to think.
Yeah, I'll give you some time to think, and we'll go over to Shisa. So you can look through those spells, Crocus, if you want, and we'll go over to Shisa.
Hey.
Yeah.
I leveled up to 7 already, so
Perfect. Then, so you got a few things. First is, now when you take a short rest, you get all of your bardic inspirations back. So you're stronger now. So you get, if you use all of your bardic inspirations, you get them all back if you take just an hour-long rest, which is good.
Oh.
So now you can do a lot more of those. You got an ability called Counter Charm. At 6th level, you gain the ability to use musical notes and words of power to disrupt mind-influencing effects. As an action, you can start a performance that lasts until the end of your next turn. During that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet of you have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed by any creature. A creature must be able to hear you to gain the benefit. The performance ends early if you're incapacitated, silenced, or you voluntarily end it. So basically, you can buff the brains of your allies and make it so that they can't be charmed or frightened.
Okay.
You have unfailing inspiration. Your inspiring words are so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. When a creature adds one of your bardic inspiration dice to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, if the roll fails, the creature can keep the bardic inspiration die. Wow, that's really strong. So what that means is you give them like an extra D8 to their roll, right? So say they're going to attack something, right? And they roll like a 10 on the dice, right? And then they add your bardic inspiration. So they have their 10, they add, they roll like a 6 on your dice. So now they're at 16, but they were the number they needed to beat was 17. So they failed still. They get to keep that dice. They don't expend it if it fails. So basically there's literally no reason for anyone to not add their your inspiration dice to their abilities, because if they fail, then they get to just keep the dice anyway. That's like extremely powerful. That must be, from the College of Eloquence. Wow, that's really, really strong. So lastly, you have universal speech. You've gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. So any creature can understand you while you're speaking, no matter what. As an action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. When you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot to use it again, which is not that big a deal. So, any creature can understand you that you want to understand you. And that's something you can choose to do. So it's not always happening. So you can choose to be like, okay, I want this creature to understand me. Here it goes. But if there's a creature you don't want to be able to understand you, like maybe a creature that doesn't speak common, you could make sure it doesn't understand you. So basically, you just get to pick who gets to understand you, and you can pick anybody at any time.
Nice.
All right, go to your spells at the top of this character manager here. Remember where that's at?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to spells and then scroll down to add spells. And you're going to add 3 spells. You have 7 out of 10 right now. You're going to add 3. You can also change out some spells. If you don't like ones that you have, you can change them out.
Okay.
What is it that do you think you're looking to do as Shisa? Like, what do you want to focus on? Charming, damage dealing, frightening, buffing.
I would be down with learning how to charm.
Okay. So a couple options would be something like Phantasmal Killer. That's a 4th level spell. You tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and create an illusory manifestation of its deepest fears, visible only to that creature. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it becomes frightened. At the end of its turn before the spell ends, the target must succeed again on another wisdom saving throw or take 4d10 psychic damage. So basically they see like their biggest fear. It's like like Pennywise the Clown. Like you create their biggest fear, and then they take damage from it every turn that they don't break free. So that's a charming ability.
That's good.
Polymorph is a really strong spell, 4th level. I think you get access to this too, Moonsy. Polymorph is one of the strongest spells in the game. Basically, you touch a creature. Actually, I think you don't have to touch them. You can just, within 60 feet of you, you pick a creature, and you transform it into a beast of your choice. So, for example, you could turn Leon into a flea if you wanted. And if Leon didn't want that to happen to him, he would have to roll a save, and if he fails, he becomes a flea. And that he can't get out of that until you tell him to, or until he gets hit. like until he gets like punched or squashed or something, then he would go back to being Leon. But basically, you could also buff someone with that. For example, yourself. Like you could turn yourself into like a T-Rex and then like just go on a rampage.
Okay.
Lot of possibilities for polymorph. There is hallucinatory terrain, which creates like a illusion that people believe is real. So you could create like a bridge where there's no bridge and they would like fall down a big chasm. There's charm monster. It's basically charm person but much stronger, and you pick any creature you want. So charm person, you can only charm like humanoid creatures. Charm monster, you could charm like a demon, or you could charm like a bear, or any creature you want with charm monster. That's a 4th level spell.
Psychic glance ability.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Rowletham's Psychic Lance, super strong spell.
Sounds dope.
Yeah, it deals 7d6 psychic damage and stuns a creature, I believe, on a failed save. And it incapacitates them until the start of your next turn. So basically, they're just like if you hit them with the spear, which is pretty cool.
How many slots do we have for 4th level spells?
As many as you want. Well, you're talking about how many slots? Let me look.
Yeah.
Look on your character sheet.
Because I want 2 of them at least.
You have 1 4th level slot right now.
No.
You have 3 3rd level slots, 3 2nd level,
Okay.
and 4 1st level. So it goes 1 3 3
Alright.
4.
Okay, I think I will take my time to make my decision now, and you can move on.
Okay. All right, so let's go to Ross, Fergus. When you leveled up to 7, did you have to pick anything?
Just it leveled me straight up to 7, and
Okay.
I have 2 choices at level 6.
Yep, for
Rogue
expertise.
and
So you get
then
to pick something
level
that you
7
want to be extra good at from that list.
Okay.
So acrobatics, deception, insight, persuasion, or thieves' tools. You pick 2 of those that you want to be like a master at, and it'll basically give you double your proficiency bonus on those rolls. You'll get a +6 to all those rolls minimum. So it's pretty good.
Insight, is that
Telling
like-
if people are lying to you.
okay? I'm
Also,
gonna choose deception, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna choose. Actually, no. I'm gonna choose persuasion, and I'm gonna choose acrobatics.
okay. So you're going to be super expert at those. And then at 7th level, you got an ability called Evasion. And this is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game of Dungeons and Dragons. So here's what happens. Beginning at 7th level, you can dodge out of the way of certain area effects, such as an Ancient Red Dragon's Fiery Breath or an Ice Storm spell. So when you're subjected to an effect that makes you make it a dexterity saving throw, for example, like a fireball or a trap or something, that makes you like try and jump.
What about let's say like that one time where we fell down the cliff or the into the cave, like that
Yep.
would take effect there.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
If you were to take only half damage for succeeding on a saving throw, you instead take no damage if you succeed on a saving throw,
Yeah.
and only half damage if you failed. So basically,
That's nuts.
yeah, you're going to take, no matter what, you're only taking half damage from area of effect spells. And if you succeed on the saving throws, even if normally you would take half damage, you instead take no damage. So you fully dodge. So you're just like Matrix, like Neo Matrix, like dodging things. So yeah, very strong, very powerful ability. But you'll have to keep that in mind because I'm going to forget that. I'll just tell you, like, I'll be like, all right, Ross, you take half damage because you succeeded. And you'll have to be like, no, Commander, I take no damage because of evasion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
okay.
You might want to write that down somewhere or make a little note.
Mhm.
All right. And then we've got Mr. Leon. Let's see here. Okay. So are you in your character builder?
I am.
Okay, so in the top right of the class tab, there should be a level thing. This is level 4.
Top right of the class tab.
It's like a drop down.
Oh, wait. Oh, manage. I see. I see. Manage character and levels. Oh, I see now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it?
Yep. So put it to 7. You
Yep.
said.
Drop it down to 7.
Tight.
And then you get a few things. So first of all, at level 5, which you've gone past already, you're at level 7, but at level 5 you gained an extra attack. So now on your turn you can attack twice instead of just once.
That's so hot.
Yeah, that's
So
going to be a lot of damage. You got fast movement, which means at 5th level, your speed increases by 10 while you're not wearing heavy armor. So now you can move like 8 squares during combat instead of 6.
Okay.
You have Mindless Rage. So beginning at 6th level, you can't be charmed or frightened while you're raging. If you are charmed or frightened when you enter your rage, the effect is suspended for the duration of the rage. So basically, when you're raging, your brain empty, go moo. You're not going to be
stupid, go burr. Yeah, I get it.
exactly. You're not going to get controlled by somebody if you're in a mindless rage. So that's good.
Okay.
You have Instinctive Pounce as a part of a bonus action when you enter your rage. So if you rage, you can then move up to half your speed without any penalties, which is nice. And then you have Feral Instinct. Your instincts are so honed that you have advantage on initiative. Oh my god, that's so good. Additionally,
that is so sick.
if you're surprised at the beginning of combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter your rage before doing anything else on that turn. Okay, so what that means is say you guys are like camping, right? You're all sleeping, right? And then like some bandits show up and surprise you and like wake you up from your sleep. Normally, the bandits like get to have like a full round of combat on you guys with a surprise round before you get to do anything. But you, because you have Feral Instinct, when you're surprised like that, if you choose to, you can immediately go into a rage and make an action. Like, immediately like fight back against someone surprising you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And of course you have
pretty fucking swag.
Yeah. And of course you have advantage on initiative rolls, which means for your initiative for the rest of the campaign, anytime you enter combat, you roll twice and take the higher number, which means you're going to be further up on the combat chart.
Okay.
All right. So the things to remember for you is now you get to attack twice on every turn, so don't forget that. You get to attack twice on every turn. And then don't forget about your advantage on initiative. I don't know if it'll do it for you. You might have to do it yourself. But all you got to do is just right click the thing and roll with advantage, or shift click like we've done before. Shift click. And then the last thing to remember is just that when you rage, you can move, I think, up to 4 squares just for free when you rage.
Nice. So it's like more movement, you're saying.
Exactly. That's Instinctive Pounce. Okay. I think that's that. Shisa, how you coming on spells?
Honestly, it's really hard to decide.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good. Like, I like the Leomund's tiny hut. I really
That's
like the
pretty good.
hut spell. I wasn't expecting to like it.
Real quick.
What's up? Oh, you're gonna use restroom. Okay. Which one is that? Is that a 3rd level spell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lehman's Tiny Hut. It can be a good one. Yeah. So that one's good. Just know that it's not going to be something you can do in combat because it costs 1 minute to do. It costs 1 minute to cast, which is 10 rounds of combat to cast.
Right. I guess that's out then.
But it's good for after combat, like if you're in a pinch or
Like useful, but I don't like the fact that I can't do it in combat.
yeah. Now, if you know where combat's going to happen, like say you're drawing the enemy to an area, you can spend a minute preparing the hut, and put it in that area where you know you're going to fight. But if you get caught off guard or you walk into an area, and you don't have time to do things, then it's not going to work. But if you know where the combat's going to happen and you can decide the arena kind of thing, then you can put the hut in there.
Can I do the mass healing word in combat?
Yep, it should. So if your casting time at the top of the spell says anything less than a minute, you're good. If it says one action or one bonus action, you're good. But if it says 1 minute,
that one sounds really good
too long.
because I struggle a lot like with healing people. So
Yeah, it's a good one. It lets you heal all of your party members and their creatures if they have like little summoned creatures or anything.
Yeah, I struggle a lot with like being able to position myself properly like during fights and heal people.
Yeah.
So
It's a good one.
this will
It's
be
got a
very
range of 60
helpful.
feet, so as long as you're within 60 feet of something, you can choose up to 6 creatures and heal them.
Okay, I still need to read through the 3rd level spells. I haven't gotten through them all.
That's okay. And then, how are you coming, Moonsy? How do you feel? What are you thinking?
I am. Oopsies. Uh-oh. Why did it do that?
You good?
I picked up 2 so far, so I
Okay.
think I'm getting there.
All right, yeah, no worries. Then I'll just kind of let you keep doing that. We're gonna take a second here if anyone needs to use the restroom or grab a quick drink or anything. Feel free. I'm going to look up my notes and make sure I've got everything right for the recap here. I'm gonna put this away. It's funny. I always find D&D to be such a funny game because it really teaches you so many different things, like patience. You know, I think one thing that's pretty interesting about the way I run things is like you all 4 of you know how to play D&D, but you don't know like a lot of the reasons why some things happen, like why you get in certain things or you know, those kinds of things. And so maybe I should make like a video or something going over like some of the player's handbook and some stuff. But I mean, you're getting the full D&D experience just without having to read the books, which, you know,
Real.
maybe for some people that's a good thing, you know? Not everyone wants to read a book to play a game. But if you were learning D&D by yourself, you'd have to read a book. So I guess you're welcome. Chat, what are your thoughts on multi-classing? When you go like 1 level into Warlock, and then 2 levels into Barbarian, and 3 levels into Wizard. Which sounds awful, by the way, but, you know, could be interesting. What are chat's thoughts? It is a good book, you're right, Battlemaster. Do you think it's too complicated for someone who's learning the game? Multi-classing, that is. I only really like multi-class on Fighter, Rogue, or Warlock characters. Warlock character, it's really strong to multi-class into Warlock. It's also really easy to do roleplay-wise. It's just like, oh yeah, I find cursed item, I become Warlock. I just don't think multi-classing is worth it unless you do it for roleplay. I think that's a somewhat fair assessment. I've seen some multi-classes that are really strong, though. Like, I saw a fighter-barbarian mix a few years ago that was like, wow. This dude is making so many attacks and doing so much damage. All right. I think in about like 2 minutes, we're going to start the recap and get things rolling. If you have not picked out a spell by then, that's okay. If you have a question about any spells or anything, let me know. I should ask both, I guess all of you, because Battlemaster makes a good point. Do any of you want to try multi-classing into anything? Like, or do you want to stick with your levels that you got in your, like, your main class? Does anyone feel
What's the
like...
disadvantage to multi-classing?
What'd you say?
Is there a disadvantage to multi-classing?
Yes. The disadvantage would be, for example, you as a rogue, you get the rogue abilities when you reach that level in the rogue class, not if you multi-class. So, for example, if you're level 5 in rogue, you're going to lose that evasion ability, but if you're adding 2 into another class, you're of course going to be adding what you would get for having 2 levels in that class.
Nah, I'm just gonna single class then. Fuck it.
So eventually you could get evasion like next level, or the level after kind of thing. You know what I mean? But like it's going to slow things down, but it's going to give you more options if you want to multi-class in anything. Like it'll give you more abilities or things like that.
Yeah, nah, I'm chilling. I'm just gonna single class.
Okay. Leon, do you feel as though Leon would do any studying in the magic arts or anything like that during a few months in the...
I don't think so, personally.
Fair enough.
He's a pretty simple guy.
And then Jinx and Moonsy, how are you feeling about your characters? Do you want to try multi-classing in anything, or?
I think I'm good.
Fair enough. Just want to make sure that option's there. I don't want to railroad you into picking something for your character, like saying, oh, you have to be level 7 in this and nothing else. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that you have those options. Yo, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you, Battlemaster, for the gift sub to Jinx. Have you guys all seen Arcane yet?
Oh, I've watched it 2 times.
It's so good. I didn't think I'd like it because I have a love-hate relationship with League, but it was... You do not need to like League to like that show.
True.
Yeah, I'm not
Alright.
really dialed in with like a lot of Riot stuff.
It's fair. Yo, thank you for the gift sub to Coco is Boosted, Battlemaster. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for the love. Arcane was dope. Super agreed. Okay, we are going to do our recap where we left off and all that good jazz. Just an FYI for today's session, there's not going to be any combat as far as I'm aware, unless you guys do something crazy. Today's going to be a lot of me asking you questions and you thinking about what you think your character would be doing during the downtime that you had. To give you a reminder, your characters, picking up on today's session, have had about 3 months inside of this underwater city. With that said, you could have been doing a number of things, and I'll give you some options on what you could have been doing. But you could also just come up with something. You can be like, I went to this place and I met this person. You could even come up with their name if you want. But that's totally up to you. I am going to give you just some of the recap of the story so far, and then give you some options on what could be happening with your characters. And then you kind of tell me like, oh, I think my character would have picked this option. I think my character would have spent their time in the library, or, whatever it might be. And I'll give you some information based on whatever you think your character would have been doing. So, last we left off, you were all in an underwater, almost Atlantis-like city in this kind of big glass bubble. The reason you were there is because you were chased off of a ship by Gormok, the God Slayer. He had arrived on the ship, being called there to retrieve the trident of Lytropius. Your father's trident, now your trident. And he did not know that you were all going to be there. He kind of caught him off guard. He knew that the trident was there, but he didn't know that he was going to find the 4 demigods he was looking for. That said, you were able to escape off of the ship with the band of pirates that had, you had kind of befriended the literal band of pirates. I mean, like they were a literal band, and also, well, I forget his name now. The young redheaded boy who you brought with you. I forget his name, of course. Trevor. Thank you, Trevor. And Trevor with you as well. You all escaped using a giant sea monster that you had sort of been able to control using the trident of Lytropius, the god of the sea. So you hopped on the back of that creature and swam down to this like Atlantean sea that it brought you to, or this Atlantean city. There you were greeted by some kind of mean crustacean guards and triton guards that were very like kind of standoffish, but they brought you in front of their Queen Nephilim, and she talked with you, got some information, believed you when you told her that you were the sons of Lytropius, Leon and Fergus. She believed you. And then also she brought you together to have a little battle, a little scuffle. She seemed enamored with you, especially with Leon. She had a lot of flirtatious remarks with Leon, even said that he was stronger than Fergus at one point, asking Fergus, why are you so weak? And then pitting them against each other inside of the arena. You both fought over the trident. In the end, coming together as brothers, and showing the people in the city and the crowd and the queen that you're not so easily pitted against each other. And that was a really good move, by the way. Some things you learn from your time down here, which she sent you up with a penthouse. She set you up with like in her palace with some beautiful servants and all kinds of stuff. She basically made this like your guys' like new kind of hideout. And in this city, you've learned a couple things. One of which is that if one of you had won that battle, it would have been a much more serious kind of encounter. As she kind of explains to you, Queen Nephilim explains to you that if one of you had won the trident battle there and you hadn't come together, then she would have kicked the other out or forced the other out of the city, kind of being like the fake god or the one that's not worthy enough. But because you came together as brothers and kind of share that burden and share that power, she believed that you were both worthy enough to be kept in the city and worshipped like gods. And you have been. Both of you have been worshipped for the last 3 months by the people of the city. You can decide how you allow that worship to be given, whether it's like you want to be waited on hand and foot, fed grapes kind of thing. You can decide whether Fergus or Leon would be into that kind of thing. Or people would respect you, if you said, please leave me alone, don't come near me, that kind of thing. Or like, no, I don't need your praise. They would respect that too. So however you think your character would deal with the popularity of that, you can decide. But people would be very like step out of your way kind of thing, bow as you're walking down the raised platforms that connect the buildings. When they drive by in their little watermobiles, they stop when they see almost like an ambulance, like they stop until you're done walking by and then they keep going kind of thing. Like it's that kind of respect around here. For Crocus and Shisa, both of you are also treated with a lot of respect, not worshipped down here, but with a lot of respect, being friends with these two. You're given all kinds of like benefits, like being able to go into most any building that you would like in the city, which includes like the library full of hundreds and thousands of years of knowledge of books and things like that. Wherever you'd like to go in the palace, whatever you'd like to eat, information from any of the people who have lived here for a long time. And there have been a lot of people that have lived in this city for hundreds of years. So you basically have free reign to go around the city for about 3 months and do what you wish, train how you like, read what you want to read, pretty much books on anything you can imagine. And so, it's super open, and I'm going to give you just some options on some things that you could have been doing. So, any questions on just kind of like the recap, where we're at, and that kind of stuff before I give you some options on what your characters could have been doing? All right. So I'm going to start with Crocus, Shisa, and Fergus, and I'm going to end on Leon because Leon, yours is a little special. So, starting with Crocus. You could have done quite a few things in this time period that you've been kind of relaxing and getting out of the watchful eye of Gormok, who's been pursuing you. He obviously has no clue where you are, because if he did, he would have showed up in these 3 months, but he didn't. So, at the end of this 3 months, what do you think Crocus would have been doing out of these options? First of all, they have a beautiful underwater coral reef garden, a place that has all kinds of animals and different kinds of foliage, as well as coral, which is a creature of types that you could take care of and kind of get to know the gardener of that area, and I can tell you a bit about them. There's also the library, which is full of all kinds of books that you might want to be interested in whatever you think Crocus would be reading about. And then there is also a pretty prolific bakery here in town as well, that bakes these basically like underwater themed baked goods, whether they're like breads made in the shape of clams or cakes that are in the shape of coral or things like that. And I have NPCs written out for any of these places that you want to check out. So where do you think Crocus would have spent her time during this 3-month period?
Ooh, it's hard to say because I feel like both the garden and the library would be two places that they would have spent a lot of time in.
Okay.
But
Well,
probably more so trying to hone their skills, I think, in the garden.
Okay. So, in the underwater garden, you met a very, very elderly turtle man. His
Aw.
name is Lucky, and Lucky takes care of the gardens. He is a turtle, which means he's like a tortoise person, like a turtle person. He's got a big kind of sapphire blue shell on his back. This eye patch that goes over his right eye, and his left eye is even like it's still fuzzy, so he's pretty much blind for the most part. He can see a little bit, but mostly blind. He looks like he's been down here for a long time, since probably the city was even built. Getting to know him, you learn that Lucky is about 300 years old. Little
Oh, wow.
closer to yeah, it's like about, he doesn't tell you exactly, but he says somewhere around 300 years old. He has kind of lost track. To tell you about Lucky, he's just a very laid back, very friendly guy. And he really cares about the garden. So when you first show up to this place, you're just kind of like stepping through that area, and as you walk in, you just kind of hear from the back of the garden, out of view, as you're walking through the coral garden and kind of checking out the underwater pots that he has in these glass boxes and things. He says, "Hey, watch your step there. I can hear you." And then, what would you say back to that?
Hello?
Hello? Who goes there?
Hello there. My name is Crocus. Where are you?
You kind of see a hand peek up from behind some pots at the back of the garden. These like pots have like some dried coral that are sticking up out of them. You see this like large kind of leathery hand waving. "I'm back here. You can come back. Just be careful."
Of course. I think Crocus would make their way there very carefully.
Okay, so you actually notice there are like a lot of like bent over plants that are kind of sticking out of the water, and so if you were to brush into them, they might break. A lot of these corals could break, so you do kind of like shimmy your way back there. And as you get back there, I mean, he's a very large creature, which is surprising considering how little room is in the garden for there to walk around. But you can actually watch him as he comes to approach you. He like ducks under some of the coral and like slides beside some and gently touches some to move it out of the way. And like he knows what he's doing. Like he's very nimble for an old turtle person. And he says, I'm Lucky, and you are?
I'm Crocus.
Nice to meet you, Crocus. He kind of puts his hand out for a handshake.
Crocus immediately kind of just gingerly shakes his hand.
Yeah, he's got a pretty tight grip for an old man. But he says, you're young and not a water breather.
No, I come from the surface. Me and some other travelers, my friends. We're on a
Oh,
course right-
you're with the gods, are you? The god Lytropius' sons.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I knew Lytropius. He was a nice guy. He could swim by once in a while.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Roll an
You might
insight
want- I
check.
might have insight.
So go to your character sheet, and then that'll be in the long box. In the eyes. Insight 8. Oh, yeah, he's definitely met Lytropius. Definitely not lying to you with an 8.
Oh, I'll have to bring his sons along.
Oh, you don't
sometime.
have to do that. That's okay. I'm sure they're busy, but you know, I'm something of a gardener myself. But he kind of like pats you on the shoulder. So what brings you to my neck of the woods?
I just wanted to see what the plant life was down here, and well, I was quickly pointed to the garden, so that's how I ended up here.
Ah, I can smell the nature on you. You've got a pleasant being around you. And wow. You know, you've got almost another kind of presence about you. I can feel the coral almost reaching for you, like it's trying to touch you. Why might that be, would you say? Do you know?
Well, Lucky, I'll have to let you in on a little secret.
Oh,
But...
I love secrets. Oh, gossip. He pulls up a chair.
well, Lytropius's sons aren't the only children of gods down here. There's also other ones like myself and another person called Shisa who are also fellow demigods.
His eyes get all like his eye gets all big, and he says, "Demigod, you say? Oh, so you're daughter of Moira, then, huh?"
How did you know?
Oh, I know a lot of things. You know, being around 300 years, you get to know some things. So, if you're the daughter of Moira, then maybe you can help me with a little thing I've got going here.
Well, sure. What do you need help with?
I've got these seaweed back here that just won't rise up. They keep dying every time I plant them. And over there, those coral are temperamental. They won't listen to me. Hey, I'm talking to you. And you actually see some of the coral like almost recoil in like fear from him.
Oh.
Listen, I'm not a bad gardener, but these ones they're being real tricky, and I might have to give up on them here soon if I don't get some help, but they'll probably listen to you.
Can't give up on a little polyp, my friend. You gotta just give them a little confidence.
Well, if you can help me with that, then maybe I can divulge some of my gardening secrets to you.
I would appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a nature check, please. And we're going to come to Shisa here after this little interaction. Wow!
Holy shit.
Natural 20. All right. So with that, you're able to coax the coral to begin to grow using your voice and your presence. The seaweed as well flourishes and almost shoots out of this like water pot that it's in, kind of hanging over the edges of it. And you hear Lucky go, "Oh, you weren't kidding. You are the daughter of Moira. Wow. Look at you go. Well, I'll be." And about that time, you and Lucky have created a bond. In this 3-month period, you learn a lot about your own powers just from spending time with Lucky. And I'm going to update those powers before the next session as you've become just a slightly bit stronger. Basically, what you can do now is when you use the Blessing of Moira ability, you can roll you can choose which side of the chart you're rolling on. And so basically you can kind of lower your, basically pick, from half the chart of what you want to roll. And you'll get, basically, you get to pick kind of like 50% of the chart that you want to use. And the other 50% would not be used in that roll. So you get a little bit of a closer chance at rolling what you want, basically, is what I'm trying to say. With that as well, I'm also going to send you some potions that you've created here with Lucky in the time that you spent with him. He's shown you how to do a little bit of alchemy. So you also become proficient with alchemist's tools as well. So, next up, Shisa. Shisa, as you know, the next leg of this adventure is kind of dependent on your parent, Vivian. So, there's a few options for where Shisa would probably want to hang out, and then if you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know. But I'll give you some of these options. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So option 1 is, of course, the library. There's going to be lots of information in the library to get to know. You might also see Crocus in there, as that would be a place that Crocus would hang out once in a while as well. There is a few different taverns around the city, and they're very, very low on business, which means the people that run those taverns would be more than willing to talk with you and kind of tell you about things and things they've learned, and also let you play music there as well to maybe draw in some customers. And then lastly, there is actually like a performance center, like a stage that you can go to, basically a recital hall that you can go to and get to know the director of the orchestra that works in that area. So, any of those places standing out to you as a place you'd want to hang out and spend the majority of your time with and kind of get the bonuses from?
That, and are there any bars in the area?
Yeah, that would be the taverns, like taverns/bars.
Yeah, I feel like I would hang out there a lot too.
Okay, so you would hang out at which places?
Like the orchestra and
Okay.
the bar.
Okay.
And I
So,
would be getting like really drunk and just singing and playing my instruments really loud and having fun.
all right, sounds good. So we can definitely do that. Fergus, I was going to give you the same kind of option in terms of like taverns being a place you could hang out. Do you think that you would be with Shisa if she was at a bar somewhere, or would you kind of want her to go by herself and do your own thing?
No, I'd go with Shisa.
I feel it felt like a Fergus thing would be to hang out with Shisa if she's going to the
Oh my
bar.
God, we're besties.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah, I'd
start
hang out
with
Shisa.
I'm gonna start with the orchestra conductor and kind of introduce you to him and do a little role play with that, and then we'll go to Fergus and Shisa at the bar, and then Leon too if Leon wants to go as well. Crocus, you can decide whether or not I didn't see Crocus much of it as a drinker, but you can decide whether you'd hang at the bar with them as well.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so the orchestra conductor, his name is Jampert Frostmock, Jampert, and then Frostmock, Mock, Jampert Frostmock. He is a Triton, so most people around here are Triton. But he kind of dresses in this beautiful, like yellow and blue tuxedo. It's like yellow with blue accents. He wears a top hat, and his orchestra is very well conducted. As you come in, you hear this beautiful orchestra music just kind of playing in the background. And as you walk through some of these doors and find your way to the main recital hall, You see them all. There's about 100 different crustacean, triton, and fish people that are all just kind of playing music and listening to the orchestra instructor, Jampert. And as you walk in, roll me a stealth check so you don't interrupt their performance, please. Unless you're trying to.
I need to go back to my character sheet.
All of us?
This is just for Shisa, for the orchestra conductor.
I got it.
Okay. So as you open the door to the recital hall, the whole band kind of comes to a stop, and Jampert turns around and says, "Can I help you?" He's kind of snotty looking. His glasses are down to the tip of his nose. His gills kind of stick out off the top of his head behind his top hat.
I'm just gonna say, "Oi, what's a girl got to do to get a drink around here?"
Well, you've come to the wrong place for drinks. This is the recital hall. But,
Oh wait! Oh my god! Sorry, I thought I'm in the wrong place right now. My bad. I meant, what's a girl got to do to get a concert around here?
do you play an
Oh
instrument?
my. Yeah, I play plenty of instruments.
Like what?
Well, I play the lyre, I play the lute, I have a pan flute that I'm quite good at. I also sing.
And
I mean, I also play a little bit of drums. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
well, show us something then.
Okay, I'll pull out my pan flute and play a cute, light little tune.
Okay, roll me a performance check, please.
Where's that again?
It
Oh,
would
here.
be in the long box in the middle. Nice, 22. As you play your flute a bit, his eyes kind of light up bright, and he says, "Oh yes, take a seat here in the woodwind section. You may join us. Sheet music, sheet music for her." And this kind of crustacean-looking crab guy moves his sheet music over to share with you.
I can read sheet music, right? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
totally read this.
Sure.
This'll work fine.
All right. As he kind of like winks at you, and he says, "I know who you are. I've heard. You came with the brothers, didn't you?"
I sure did. But they've been wonderful to travel with, I tell you.
Well, it is wonderful to have met your acquaintance. And just as an FYI, I do know where to find a good drink after rehearsal today.
Ooh.
Nice. I'll see you later then, huh?
You will. But first we play, and you play with us, yes?
Of course. Yeah. I'm gonna do a little flute solo maybe if you don't stop me.
We'll leave a spot open for you. Go
Great.
ahead and roll me another performance check, please. This time with advantage. So roll twice, take the higher number. Okay. With a 25. At the end of rehearsal, you play beautiful orchestral music with the orchestra here. And at the end of the rehearsal, as everyone's kind of filing out, Jampert kind of walks over to you. And he says, "You are tremendous. And I would like to offer you, I know you're busy, but if you would like, you may play with us while you're staying in the city. And we'd happily share the wages with you that we make, like as we do with the rest of the band members. I can't say that I'll give you more than anyone else, but I think we've all been in agreement that we're willing to share with you if you would like to play with us."
Well, that would be wonderful. Thank you for offering. I would love to do that.
We play on Saturday nights, usually sold out, And with you there, I guarantee it'll be sold out.
Oh, thank you.
He smiles and he says, and as for drinks, I do know a little speakeasy if you want to go to a little more kind of special place, or there's all kinds of bars we can go to. What are you more into?
Are there any karaoke bars around here?
Oh, so many karaoke bars.
Well, those are my favorite.
Okay, let's go to the karaoke bar then. And anyone you want to bring with you?
Well, I know my friend Fergus loves to have a good time, and maybe I could convince Leon to go, but Crocus likes to stick to her books and her flowers.
Well, let's go check on them and see if they would like to come with us then, shall we?
Okay.
We can use my vehicle. And he leads you out of the recital hall to a kind of like suspended in water parking lot. And he says, okay, now hold your breath until we get to the vehicle, yes?
Okay.
All right, he kind of like grabs you by the hand and swims you up to the vehicle. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, I don't want to choke. Oh no. Oh god.
That was a Constitution check. I'll let you re-roll it. Constitution saving throw, which is the top left box.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'm a little rusty.
No, you're good. Okay. With a 10, you're able to make it to the car. I was looking for anything 10 or higher, so you're lucky. So you make it to the vehicle. It's not a car. It's like a little propeller vehicle thing. And he lets you in, and you both drive. He kind of asks for your guidance on where to go. And he says, oh, you're staying at the palace, are you? That's quite the abode. It makes sense, though, because you're friends with the water gods. That's not who we're picking up, is it?
Oh yeah, it sure is who we're picking up, actually.
Excuse me? I don't know if I'm allowed to be in their presence.
Look, they're not as stuck up as you think they are. They're just normal dudes who just happen to be demigods. Don't worry about it.
Okay, if you say so.
I'm a demigod as well, you know? I mean, it's nothing. It's fine.
What?
Don't worry. just the daughter of Vivian, that's all.
It makes so much sense. The car like kind of stops in the middle of traffic. Traffic like goes by, something honking at him. It makes so much sense why you're so amazing at playing the flute, and it makes so much sense why you were just drawn to the recital hall, wanting to be there, even if you didn't want to be there. He starts like going on to like a ramble. He says, "You're really, really the daughter of Vivian."
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know until recently I was adopted, and my parents didn't want to tell me.
That is incredible. You're incredible. That's amazing. Are you sure I should be in your presence? Maybe.
Listen, you gotta stop. You gotta drop all this, okay? You need to. It's fine. We're normal people, just living a normal life. Like no need to worry about like respect or whatever. It's cool. Like just chill.
Okay. If you say so. I only have 100 followers on Glug Glug. He shows you a thing that looks suspiciously like Twitter.
Oh no.
Are you sure? You're positive?
I know what that is. You're fine.
Okay. We call it Fish App.
Sounds interesting.
He continues driving towards the palace as the guards kind of wave you in. They see you in the passenger seat and they kind of wave him in after giving him some side eyes. And you both arrive into the main hall and go up the stairs to your penthouse where Fergus and Leon and Crocus are all hanging out, given the abode that you've been given. It's kind of high up in the palace, but as you enter through the doors, Fergus, Leon, and Crocus, you're all kind of hanging out in the room at this time. It's close to probably like 8 o'clock p.m. about. That's hard to tell when you're this deep underwater. There's no sun, so it's just dark all the time, but your body clock is kind of on it after being here for a while.
I just like Just out of sheer curiosity, can I just imagine that Leon and I are living in the penthouse that the guy lives in Shark Tale? The guy
Yes.
that, yeah, okay, the guy that Will Smith plays. I can't remember his character name, but
Yes.
we're in that. Okay, amazing, perfect.
Absolutely.
That's like such a specific vibe, and I'm so down with it.
We have a lava lamp spiral staircase.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I just.
As you both walk in, Shisa and Jampert immediately like kneels down when he sees Fergus. Fergus, pretty familiar sight after you've only been here for a couple weeks, but still, it's a pretty familiar sight.
I like sarcastically. I'm like, rise, old man.
He does, and he says, "Yes, of course, yes. And you must be Fergus, and the other one, Leon. Where is he? And Leon, where would you be? Do you think next to Fergus? Maybe he just doesn't know what you look like.
I think I'd probably be next to Fergus. Yeah.
As he says that, he kind of looks to you for the answer. Like, which one is Leon?
He's the big one.
Oh, he kneels again.
No, there's no need for the formalities, friend. It's okay.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go get drinks. You want to get drunk?
Yeah.
I'm in for the drinks. I'll pass on the drunk.
Okay. Well, I was going to show Shisa around. She agreed to be part of our orchestral accompaniment. Can you believe that? Daughter of Vivian.
She is pretty damn good with an instrument, so yeah, I'm frankly not surprised.
I mean, we wanted her, but we never knew she would say yes. I mean, let alone we didn't even know she was the daughter of Vivian at the time. It's incredible, right?
She's very humble. She doesn't like to show off too much, but she's very good at what she does in all aspects of her life.
You two are in incredible company with her. She's the daughter of Vivian. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm the son of Lytropius, pal.
He smiles and he says, "Oh, I know, but she's the daughter of Vivian." And he kind of nudges you, Shisa. He's trying to make banter and trying to just become part of the little friend group here. Yo, Fumble folks, thank you for the raid. Thank you so much. We're playing D&D.
So let's just get this straight, big man. You're flirting with my best pal.
No, that it's nothing like that.
Never
He's just, you don't understand how important Vivian is to people who play music and love, the art of choreo. Like, it's something you don't understand, Fergus. Don't worry about it.
Yes,
Okay, sure.
indeed. And who might you be? And he kind of motions to Crocus.
Hi, I'm Crocus, daughter of Moira.
He's and he kneels down.
No, it's okay. Don't do that.
He stands
I'm
back up
trying
and kind
to
of
tell him.
brushes himself off.
It's
Okay,
fine.
I'm trying to get used to it. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get used to it, but it's hard. You're all demigods. It's amazing. Will you all come to our show this Saturday? Your friend's playing. Shisa. She's playing with us.
Oh, of course. We'll definitely be there.
And-
Right?
Fergus.
Right, guys?
Leon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Fergus.
Sure.
Yes. Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
man.
And you'll follow me on Glug Glug, right? And he holds up
Whoa. Now we're getting serious, big man.
his... Okay,
Let's
all right.
see if you can handle your drink, and then we'll talk about a follow back on Glub Glub.
Okay, all right. That's... I guess that seems fair. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. But
No, you're an excited little man. I understand.
we're going to the karaoke bar. You all coming, or? I know
Oh.
Fergus and Leon said, Crocus, would you like to come with?
Oh, sure.
He nods his head.
Oh,
He says,
wow.
perfect. That's perfect. He kind of wags his finger at Shisa. You shouldn't assume. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
Oh no.
Hey, I'm more excited than anything. Don't worry about it.
He smiles a big cheesy Triton grin, and he says, by the way, just to tell you about this guy, he's wearing like a yellow tuxedo, yellow top hat, like blue, like azure
He's so
blue
cool.
accents. He is very fancy looking, and he says, well, off then. We will call for transportation, and because you are who you all are, that shouldn't be a problem. So let us do that, and let's get a limousine. What do you think, limo? Guys, anyone? Limo? Sound good?
We
Why
can get in a
not?
limo.
Yes.
Is it your limo, or
No.
are you gonna pay for this?
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to pay for it. None of you, right?
But neither should you. You don't have to impress us.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, no, there's no need for a limo.
It's a bit
I
much.
kind
Wow, you guys, party poopers. Come on, take the limo.
Oh, we're not gonna walk, she said.
Oh,
And then,
man.
and then, as Leon says, we're not gonna walk. I grab the trident and like double tap it on the floor, and the anglerfish just like
Okay, the anglerfish that you've allowed in.
comes and swims to like beside the balcony,
Oh
and I'm
my
like, yeah,
gods! What is that?
and I'm like, yeah, Leon's right. We're not fucking walking.
That's our
Fine.
buddy.
The giant anglerfish appears for you all to take to the karaoke bar, which Jampert leads you to. The karaoke bar is called Shells and Bells. And Shells and Bells is just kind of a medium-sized, classic-looking kind of medieval tavern. But it's got a few lights that are kind of special. It's like these lights that shine through these colored different types of seaweed to kind of make like neon colored, like a neon color like dance floor and karaoke area. And as you go in, Jampert kind of shows you around. The first thing that he does when he goes in is he goes, "Welcome everyone to Shells and Bells. This is my favorite spot. They've got great mozzarella sticks and they're gonna love you. Hey everyone, do you know these four? They're the demigods that came in." And everyone just looks confused. "They're with the sons of Lytropius." And then they all cheer because not everyone knows that you're all demigods. But they know of the two of you, Fergus and Leon. So you guys enjoy a night out with Jampert, and you, with that kind of bonus, Shisa, you get a bit of information on where to find Vivian's artifact.
Yo!
As Jampert gets more and more drunk throughout the night with you, he begins kind of clamoring on about a rumor that you've never heard. Being someone who you don't really study Vivian, you have never really studied that in your life, but he obviously has. He has. And so he says, do you think, Shisa, do you really think that a giant stole Vivian's harp? Do you think like it's in like a cloud somewhere? Really? Do you think that's true?
I don't know. I didn't really know very much about my mother until recently and had no idea what happened to her. So
Well,
that's the first I've heard of it.
you haven't heard. So there's this rumor, right? That her harp used to be inside of this beautiful cathedral, but then a giant came down from the sky and destroyed the cathedral, stole the harp, and went back up into the sky. It's a rumor though, because nobody's actually been able to get to the cathedral. It's the top of a very steep mountain. Nobody who goes up there has survived.
Oh.
But the thoughts
know
are
why?
that it's been stolen. by giants.
Do you know why everybody dies?
It's too dangerous. It's the mountain is so steep and snowy, and it's just you know. He takes another drink.
Oh, well, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to know if you thought it was true. Well, what are you all doing here anyway in this city?
You know, we're just taking it easy. We've had a pretty turbulent 6-7 months, so you know, we're just
Yeah.
chilling.
Like a vacation.
That sounds nice. Well, more drinks! Drinks on me! He kind of points his finger up, and the bartender goes, "They're already free, Jampert. You're with the demigods. Drinks on me, I said." And you guys enjoy a night with Jampert. So I would write that information down somewhere, that what you know about the harp. Just that it's there is a rumor that it has been stolen from its resting place, which you didn't even know what its resting place was. But the rumor is that the resting place was atop a very large mountain in a beautiful cathedral, and that cathedral has been destroyed, and the harp has been taken. So you know what the thing looks like. You know that it's a harp. You know that there is a rumor about where it is, and you know that Jampert is pretty proficient in this kind of information. He seems like someone who's really into the lore of Vivian. So he's pretty trustworthy. All right, Fergus. During your 3 months here, there are a couple things that you might be interested in doing. One could be the library. One could be looking around the palace for things that you might want to nick or steal. And you wouldn't be able to do it just like immediately. You'd want to like scout it out, you know, and try and find when the best times where guards aren't walking by and things like that. And then lastly, within the first few weeks, you meet another kobold down here. Similar in stature, but not in skin tone. He's got like a bright yellow colored scaling skin tone. And you actually see him scaling a one of the bubbles that like contains like one of the buildings in the city. Like he's like scaling the outside of it with these suction cups, and he is wearing like a breathing apparatus around his mouth. And you're able to spot him because he is giving you like you almost had like your spider sense, like your thief sense going off. And he kind of looks down at you as you're looking at him, and he takes one of his suction cupped hands and he puts a little shh in front of his face and suction cups all the way around the bubble. After a little while, he comes back around and swims over to you, kind of taking off his suction cups and his little breathing apparatus, and coming into the area where you're at, which you can breathe air in. It's like a little walkway area. And as he gets in with you, he says, "Hey, how's it going, buddy? What are you looking at, huh?"
Don't know, something interesting.
"What do you mean something interesting? You got a problem, pal? You want to fight?" He kind of like starts like giving you a little,
Well,
trying to rumble, trying to tussle.
For a kobold, you've got interesting climbing skills, I'll tell you that. I wouldn't need suction cups for that, mate.
Well, you know, that's none of your business, okay? I invented these, and I was just testing them out.
Then why'd you tell me to shush? What's that hanging out your pocket?
You look down and you see this beautiful golden necklace just hanging out of his pocket, and he kind of shoves it into his pocket. "Nothing, that's my wife's."
Your wife's necklace that you took on a test climb with you?
Yeah, it's for good luck.
Yeah, and what's your wife's name? Oh, yeah. Wife, mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you want, pal? Who are you? You the cops?
No, I'm just curious. You've piqued my interest. I've not seen a kobold in a long time, let alone in an underwater city.
Well, I got kind of lucky getting here, okay? So, I'm not trying to fuck it up.
Oh? Care to elaborate?
Nope. He starts walking away.
Hey. Listen,
What?
pal.
What?
I just want to be I just want to be mates. We might have got off on the wrong foot, and I don't think that's anyone's fault. But you know, kobolds, we got to stick together, pal.
Okay. So you're following me. You're being kind of weird. I don't like it. He starts to kind of like backing up. Listen, kobolds are great and all, but there's a reason I'm not with any right now. Okay, pal? Not a huge fan.
Well, there's also a reason I'm not with any kobolds either.
Well, that's a good point.
You know, we're
That is a good point.
yeah.
Fine. He reaches out a very kind of gangly, almost his arms are like creepily kind of long. As he reaches his hand out, he says, "My name is." What's your name?
I'm Fergus.
Huh.
And I like shake his hand back.
Fergus. I've heard that name before somewhere. I know that name. Where do I know that from? He starts kind of like tapping his chin.
Yeah. Let me show you where you might know this from. And I just like walk backwards. I'm just assuming it's like an air corridor, like
Yep,
an air bubble.
exactly. You got it
I
right.
just like walk backwards out of the air bubble and just like start visually breathing underwater.
His eyes get all big. Oh, you're the demigod from town. He starts running. He just starts running, just like sprinting away from you.
I just like, as I'm a god of water, I just like swim alongside him. And
Yeah, he's like running down the air
bubble.
corridor and you're like swimming beside him like faster than he can run.
Yeah,
Leave me
and
alone! Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
I just like hop out in front of him and like grab both his shoulders and I'm like, bro, what's going on?
Ah,
What is
don't kill
wrong?
me! Don't kill me! I'm sorry!
I'm trying to be your pal.
His snout is like almost touching your snout. Just like you're like shaking him and he's like kind of like flabbergasted. He goes, "Okay, pals, I can be pals. You're not gonna kill me."
Why would I kill you?
You know, the word demigod is kind of scary, okay, man? I'm just a fucking kobold. Like I live my life. I'm about to die probably in like 5 years, okay? I've had a very short life and I don't want to make it any shorter, okay?
Okay, but why would I make it any shorter? I'm just trying to be mates.
Okay, I don't trust anyone, and especially not someone who's literally associated with celestial gods, okay? I'm not a very nice guy, okay? I don't think I would be on Lytropius's good side.
Why wouldn't you be on Lytropius's good side?
No reason. He puts his hand in his pocket.
All right, pal. I've given you about 3 opportunities. You're gonna have to tell me what's going on, or there might be some problems here.
You said you wanted to be friends. He jumps out of the
I
air.
do want to be friends, but friends don't lie to each other, and you've lied to me about 6 times.
He jumps out of the air thing and into the water and starts swimming. Puts his little breathing apparatus on.
I swim in and rip his breathing apparatus off him.
he starts,
Until he starts like losing this color out of his skin, and then I pull him back into the air tunnel, and I like pin him against the floor, and I'm like, "You were gonna tell me what the fuck is going on, or we are gonna have problems."
Okay, man, just take it. Just take it. He like hands you back this golden-looking necklace with the symbol of Lytropius kind of hanging. It's like the trident with the snake behind it.
So I give him like a good slap on the face. I'm like, "Why the fuck have you got this?"
Listen, it looked like it was worth some money, and I knew it was Lytropius's, and I knew you guys were in the city, but I thought I could get away with it without one of you seeing me. I guess it's just dumb fucking luck that you saw me stealing it, okay? I'm sorry. Do you have the
Sorry's
trident
not
on
good
you, do you
enough.
think? Do you think you have the trident, or do you think Leon would have it in this particular... just walk around with it, or do you think you leave
I
it?
don't think either of us would carry it. I think it would be at home.
Okay. So yeah, he just says, you don't have to kill me. I don't know, listen, I'm sorry. Let's start over. And you're Fergus.
So I still haven't pinned. I'm like, give me your breathing apparatus. Give me your suction cups.
He hands them to you.
I just like throw them off the floor and smash them into pieces.
Come on, man.
You're gonna tell me what you're doing with this necklace.
Okay. fine. He kind of stops like, you know, breathing so hard. And he says, he kind of turns away and very sheepishly says, I'm a big fan of Lytropius.
You're not?
I am a big fan.
And why is that?
Because he's cool, and I think he's the reason I'm here. But I didn't want to meet his sons. I'm a little scared right now, okay?
Okay, I understand you're scared, but this conversation is easy when you're honest with me. I've had to tease this out of you. You've ran away from me. You've lied to me multiple occasions. Just be honest, pal. The conversation will be over so quickly.
I stole a necklace. I thought you were going to kill me because you're like his son.
This necklace may have meaning to me, but the value it adds to me right now is minimalistic. You should see the stacks of platinum coins we have in the bank. I don't care about money.
Okay.
I just need to know what you're doing with this necklace. And what this necklace even means.
I was going to put
my dad is on the front of this necklace, and I've never seen it before.
Okay. I was going to put it back on my shrine.
You have a shrine?
Yes.
And
very
you said
sheepishly.
Lytropius brought you here?
I think so. I mean, how else would I have gotten here? I kind of just passed out. And then I showed up on the edge of one of these glass bubbles.
Where did you pass out?
Literally on the shores. Like,
oh, Jesus.
Really far up.
Yeah.
I don't know how else I would have gotten here. Nobody, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. I was in jail for like 6 months. Nobody knows how I got here. But I think I'm alive because of your dad. So I made a little shrine to him to thank him. And I was going to put this on it. But also, you know, eventually when I get out of here, I was going to take that shrine with me. And then, you know, it's got a lot of valuable things in it. You know, once I get out of here and back to the shores, then I can actually, you know, sell it for some good money. It's got a lot of things made of gold.
So what you're saying is you don't care about my dad. You care about the value of the items.
Well, I care about your dad in a way that, like, thanks, appreciate it. But, like, as soon as I'm nowhere near the water,
why would he have brought you here? Like, what could you possibly add? And I mean this in the nicest way possible. This may come off as offensive, but you have pushed my buttons. What value could you add to my father by being in the city? What are your talents?
How am I supposed to know, man? He kind of scratched.
You must have something going for you.
Listen, I'm just a piece of shit, okay?
All right. Then explain how you invented these suction cups and breathing apparatus.
He kind of smirks. I don't know. Idea just came to me in a dream, I guess.
You guess?
Listen, I'm not a good guy. Okay? I've done a lot of shit things, and I probably shouldn't even be here right now. But I think your dad picked me for a reason, and I don't know what it is. But I don't know. Stealing and creating shrines, I'm just looking for a sign from him, you know?
Well, I'll tell you one thing my dad doesn't like. That's stealing and dishonesty, and you seem to be doing quite a lot of both of those things.
I know. As he says that, you hear a familiar voice in the back of your head, Fergus. Give me 1 second.
Hey, my boy. It looks like you found...
Yep.
I saved the little shit because he's got some information you might need. I knew you'd be here someday.
What sort of information does he have? He's a bit of an annoying prick.
Well, if I told you that, that'd be no fun. Make a new friend. Talk to you later, son.
Right. Take me to your shrine. Let's have a look then. Let's see.
Okay. And we'll transition from that over to Leon in the last few minutes here. Leon, I have some simple places that you can be hanging out, and then I have kind of a complicated one that we can do as well, and we could do it next session since we don't have time this session. But here's a few places that you could have been hanging out the last 3 months. One is the library, of course. That place is a place that you can learn quite a bit about, like your the things you're interested in, like maps and things like that. You know, like it's got all those atlases and things that you might need to become a more proficient in like nautical knowledge. You know, so if you want to learn more about boats or learn how to create your own types of like rations and foods and stuff to, live out on sea, or how to fix, a scurvy or whatever it might be, you can find all that information, pirate information that you could need in the library. Secondly, there is a big arena, of course, that you've already fought in, and you can continue to fight there more. And if you do that, you'll get some benefits to your combat a little bit. And then lastly, the more kind of complicated one would be if you want to pursue the flirting that was happening with Queen Nephilim, that can become a romanceable NPC for you, with its own benefits as well. So, thoughts on what Leon would be interested in? And if you want a picture of what Queen Nephilim looks like for whatever, for like seeing if Crocus would be interested, I can do that.
Well, I think that like getting to the root of like Leon's character, his entire life he has been in kind of like an identity crisis, and the events of every session up until this point you said was what? It was like a span of about 2 weeks. That's a lot of new. It's a lot of insight into his own identity, and I think that he would be inclined to spend a lot of that time in the city, in the library, kind of alone and more alone than not, and thinking about everything.
Okay.
Like it's life prior was a lot of routine. It was very much so an unfortunate routine with the pirate stuff, but
Right.
the glamour and excitement of the past 2 weeks has kind of been a lot, and the whole Lytropius thing was kind of a curveball, if you will, in his understanding of himself.
Absolutely.
And I think I would want to spend some time in the library. I'd want to spend some time in the library reading more about like the mythology. Feels like the wrong word, but like the pantheon of gods in the world, if that's an option.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is an option. And I will, with that information, I'll send that information to the group chat, assuming that, do you think Leon would share that information, or do you want me to just send it to you? And you can kind of share, pick and choose what you want.
I think you would be inclined to share that information, yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I will do that. I will send you some special information on what you learned from your time kind of researching the Pantheon, and more about Lytropius, more about the different other gods, and that could help out everybody, which is
yeah, because like while it's not the most like I guess like exciting like rah path, I do think it's the most like in character for him,
Sure.
And then he was always kind of disinterested in the queen. I can't remember her name right now.
One more time, what'd you say?
In that, like, I think it's the most like in character, and he was always kind of just unaware of what was going on with Queen Nephilim's advances. I like to think he's kind of emotionally unintelligent in that respect, and just totally unaware of the whole, not implication, but I can't think of the word, but
I feel
the
you.
vibe of the conversation being
Absolutely.
flirty.
All right. Then yeah, no worries. That's cool. So I'll send you some of that information, and then Fergus, we will next session kind of role play out you continuing to get to know, which is spelled CH. That's his name, CH. So, any other questions anyone might have before we end today's session? We'll stop it there, and then next time we'll pick up on Fergus's thing and possibly move on out of the underwater city